last home game of the season. It's been so long. We've gone through so many different emotions this season that it's actually pretty emotional thinking that this is the last time that we will play in front of these fans this season. It's really, it's quite something to reflect on because the fans have been so consistent. In fact, we reached after the match against Leicester, I think we reached the 1 million total fans throughout the season, which is amazing, And just to think that, we've gone through a lot. I mean, speaking of Venezia, the last time we played against Venezia, we did lose. That's what I mean. We went through so many emotions. Because one of the downfalls of this season was certainly Venezia beating us. That was by far one of the worst matches of the season, where we were basically up 1-0 and then we lost 3-2. Once again, there was a given free penalty to Venezia in that match, but that's ages ago, so we can't discuss about that. Today, we're going to talk about this match. It's the last home game of this season. Now, I'm gonna spend some time talking about, just as usual, how we come to this match, because I think once again it's the most important thing to talk about. I am gonna give my predicted 11, and then I'm gonna talk about Venezia a bit. Now, starting off with how we're coming towards this match, I'll be honest with you, we're not coming on a great Serie A streak. This is why I really don't know how this match can evolve, because the fact that Venezia aren't officially relegated, mathematically, they aren't relegated. Yes, they are 90%, 98% even inside the Serie B for next season, but mathematically, hypothetically, they could still save themselves. This does mean, if we follow this hypothesis, it does mean that technically they would play like the devil's best friend against us. But realistically speaking, can we actually allow Venezia to play like the devil's best friend against us on Saturday evening? Because, you see, I think it's such an important... In fact, I'd probably give you a massive statement here. It's possibly more important for us than them, this match is. Because I think it's such a weird match, but I genuinely can't predict. Obviously, the Roma are favourites, but Venezia are mathematically relegated. That does mean that technically they could turn up as if they were the devil's best friend. So obviously, we are continuing this mentally exhausted period of time. We've been basically playing every week between the Conference League, the Serie A, that few matches we played in the Coppa Italia. If you accumulate all these matches, the energy we consumed is intense, and we are tired. You can definitely feel that. I wouldn't necessarily say that we are 100% just physically tired, but we are also mentally tired as well. I mean, I don't blame the players, but the reality is these players can't wait till the holidays start. That's just the way it is. Because they've been playing so many matches, it's actually difficult to count all the matches we played. So we're coming towards this match so exhausted. But once again, can we allow this fatigue to just play about with us and not get a result against Venezia? We can't. Because, yes, we do have the Conference League path to get in the Europa League next season, but that is not 100% guaranteed. If we were to lose that Conference League final, and if we don't play well in the Serie, then we will end up, potentially next season, playing in the Conference League again. And, you see, the match against Fiorentina was a very important match to try and get a result, so that against Venezia, I expected a turnover to occur. Now that we lost that match against Fiorentina, I'm in a position to say that Mourinho won't change much. I've been reading different, sources. Sky Sports say that Mourinho will stick with his usual lineup. Other journalists say that some limits of turnover will happen. But one of the few positives that we can bring towards this is that after the Leicester post-match interview, Mourinho said how much he prayed and how much he would beg the Serie A Association to move the last match of the season, which is against Torino, on a Friday instead of playing on a Sunday with everyone else. so that we can have more time to train for the Conference League. And this demand from Mourinho has been accepted by the Serie A Football Association. In fact, we will be the first. We will basically play our last match of the season on Friday instead of Sunday before everyone else, because Mourinho said it. We've been playing so much time. We need time to rest. And playing on a Friday can potentially also be the winning factor for the Conference League final. That's definitely good. That's definitely something which brings a lot of positives in the players' minds. But coming towards this match, we can't deny the fact that we're tired, and that is the most important thing. Like, we are tired. We've seen how tired we are. We feel how tired we are. But unfortunately, the season is not over, and I'm gonna say it again. This is probably more important than Torino, because if we were to win this match, obviously our opponents this weekend have got a very, very, very tough matches. All of them. Lazio are playing against Juventus. How good is it that Juventus didn't win the Coppa Italia? It's so good to see. But can I potentially see Juventus, a club like Juventus, losing 3 consecutive matches? I just can't. That's why I genuinely think Juventus could easily win against Lazio. They are in a very bad streak. They lost against Genoa. They lost yesterday in the Coppa Italia. Can I see this team lose 3 consecutive matches? I can't, with the talent they have in the team. Fiorentina are playing against Sampdoria, which are hypothetically not safe, so they can turn up against them. And who is it? Atalanta are playing against AC Milan in Milan, who are fighting for the league and have had 1 full week to rest. So out of all their opponents, we have a big step to make. We win this match, we're 50. I wouldn't even say 50%. If we win Saturday's match, we are 65% in the next Europa League. Then it would depend on the last match. Obviously, it's always great for us to end the season in front of Lazio, but it is what it is. Lazio, basically, we do also have the Conference League to think about. So the most important thing is to get in the Europa League. Obviously, it would be better to get 5th and 6th. It would be better to get before Lazio, just to brag upon them. But obviously, we do have the Conference League final as well. So that does, that takes off one of the points. We are coming towards this match mentally, physically, just no one wants to play anymore. Everyone doesn't care about the Serie A anymore. However, the realistic side of it is that we need to turn up to this match, because Venezia aren't hypothetically safe. Now, I'm going to criticize something the Serie A did, which is it's more for Venezia than us. It doesn't affect me much. But I genuinely think that the Serie A should have played all the matches in this round, this game week, which is the second to last game week, at the same time. Because you see, the moment we're saying this, I'm talking to you guys, Venezia aren't relegated. They can get points and still hypothetically get saved. But you see, tomorrow, Empoli are playing against Salernitana. Which is the first match of the game week. If Salernitana was to even draw that match, even get a point at Empoli, or even get a win at Empoli, Venezia would be relegated. That means that they come to the Olimpico with nothing to play anymore rather than pride. You see how things change, and I think the Serie A should have played all the matches at the same time in this game week as well. Because so many things can change within matches. Like right now, Venezia aren't relegated, but tomorrow, before our match, Venezia could be relegated. If Salernitana get a point against Empoli, at least a point. So it's as simple as that, and that is definitely something to criticize about this area. Also, speaking about relegation and promotion, we do have the 2 teams which are already promoted into the Serie A. We have got Lecce, which are already promoted, and we have got Cremonese, which are back in the Serie A after so many years, which is good to see. And then 1/3 team from the Serie A will come, but that will be decided in the playoffs, just like the Championship in the Premier League. Now, I'm going to give my predicted 11. Now, I've said before, I've read different sources. Some people say Mourinho will stick with his usual lineup. Some people say some aspects of the turnover will come. It's genuinely hard to predict how Mourinho will put his lineup, because we do have the Conference League final, but at the same time we can't underestimate this match. So I think I'm going to go with a very similar lineup to Fiorentina. Because once again, if we get a good result today, then we're 65% in the Europa League. Obviously, this does mean that our opponents do need to lose points. And you see, out of the 2 matches remaining, I can see Mourinho kind of limiting more players and kind of performing a turnover against Torino rather than Venezia. Plus, it's the last home game of the season. The players, Mourinho, want to end this on a good note at home to thank the fans. They definitely want to surprise the fans, want to give them a gift. So I am going to go with a very similar prediction to Fiorentina. Because I'm going to go with Rui Patricio in goal. I'm going to go with Mancini. No, Mancini's unavailable. I'm sorry. Mancini is unavailable for this match. He's got a red card. So Rui Patricio, Ibanez, Smalling, and Kumbula in defense. Then what I'm changing is Maitland-Niles on the right-hand side because Korsdorp against Fiorentina looked like it was easier to cut than smooth butter. He was so tired against Fiorentina. I can't emphasize this much. He was as equivalent as the strength of melted butter. So Korsdorp needs a rest because he's one of the players which, if he turns up to the Conference League final, he can be a winning factor. Maitland-Niles starts for me. Then I am going to rest Cristante and I'm going to put Veretout next to Oliveira. And then I'm going to put Zalewski on the left-hand side. I'm going to put Corles Perez and Abraham and Pellegrini up front. Actually, no. Abraham and Zaniolo up front. I think Pellegrini needs a rest. We've seen against Fiorentina, he was tired as hell. Pellegrini will 100% rest this match. No 100%, I do think he needs to rest. So Tammy needs to rest as well, but without Tammy, we've seen what this team is like without Tammy Abraham. No sense of actually want to win. So my big question mark is, I put Oliveira in. I can see players like Diawara starting this match or players like Bove or Darboe. I genuinely can see that happening. But again, we've seen Mourinho so many times in very important matches not listening to turnover things, not really listening to rotations and starting his best players. So I'm going to go Rui Patricio in goal, Ibanez, Smalling and Kumbula in defense, Maitland-Niles, Veretout, Oliveira and Zalewski, Corles Perez and Abraham and Zaniolo up top. Some rotation in it, Maitland-Niles, Corles Perez, but we've seen the difficulties we have against teams which park the bus. And I know it depends on what Salernitana do tomorrow, because if Salernitana were to win or draw, they would be relegated, so therefore they would be only playing for their pride. If Salernitana lose at home away against Empoli, they are still mathematically safe. So they could easily win this match. Seeing our concentration levels in the Serie A lately, but I'm not gonna go that far to say that they are gonna win it. Keep the positivity up high. Keep the positivity. It's always good to be positive before these matches. I think we will have some rotations for sure, but I think the basis of big players need to be kept because we've seen what this team is like without their big players. And that just puts to mind the squad depth we have. The squad depth we have is ridiculous. That's just the way it is. Therefore, I can't remember one match we won without Tammy Abraham on the pitch. Tammy did basically start every match, but against Bologna he didn't start and we didn't win. There were definitely other matches where he didn't start and we didn't win. So, these players are so important. They are tired, and I'm not gonna, I'm gonna blame them. I'm not gonna blame them because we played so many matches. They deserve a rest, but it's not the moment, to claim a rest because this is Saturday. Basically, we can basically 65% decide if we're playing in the Europa League next season. In a few weeks' time, we'll decide if we're Conference League champions. So many different aspects are coming into reality right now. This is a moment to not give up. This is a moment to just keep the way we are, like we've been playing. Keep the positivity, keep the passion. Fans the stadium is sold out once again, so definitely home advantage will play a massive part in the match. But yeah, I think, once again, I said before, this is the last match of the season. The players will want to surprise their fans. The players will want to, I don't know, just give back to the fans. So it's the last match, home game of this season. So I expect something to be, gifted to the fans. I'm gonna end this stream with my prediction. I can see two things happening here. I can see three things happening. I can either, obviously, much of this depends on what Salernitana does tomorrow. I can't stress this enough. I can either see us winning like 1-0 at the 80th minute, being a very boring match. They park the bus, we have difficulties in scoring, and then, I don't know, like a Shimarota bullet header decides the match. Then I can either see a 0-0 draw just like Bologna, like a Control-C, Control-V match of Bologna, or I can either see a battering, like last home game of the season. I want to give it all, I want to get in the Europa League, so bang, 4-0. These three predictions are my predictions. Yes, there might be an upset, but I'm not going to predict an upset because, yeah, hashtag positivity. Right, let me read some comments and then I end the stream. Welcome everyone in the chat. What do you think about the new home? I absolutely love it. Like, genuinely speaking, not biased here. I love that kit. I really do. I love the fact that it's got like the weird, that's not weird, like the classic neck thingy. I absolutely love it. If I were Mourinho, I'd actually have put as many reserves as I could because our first choose players are mentally exhausted and it wouldn't be the best thing to get into the final in that condition. 100% agree with you. But I think so many people have been underestimating this era lately. Like, we are not in a Europa League. That is something which the players, the fans, Mourinho, Thiago Pinto, the Fredkins all need to understand. The fact that we're in a Conference League final does not mean we're in a Europa League next season. Because we have to win that final to get in a Europa League. And these players don't have the experience for finals, apart for like 3 of them. So it's always good to keep that backup path behind us in case things go wrong. And if we do want to keep that path, we need to win. I think if we were to draw or lose against Venezia, or Serie A path to the Europa League would kind of fade. And then I can see everyone resting for Torino, and then just everyone risking it all for against Feyenoord in Tirana the 25th of May, which is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. It's like it's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks yesterday. Yeah, it's 2 weeks yesterday. So it's coming. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you tomorrow with another live stream. If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button. Look at that. We're like 5 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers. Please subscribe if you're watching this and you haven't already. Share the link with your families and friends. And also please like the live stream as soon as it becomes a video as well. And follow me on Instagram over there in the yellow box. Over at Simon_AS_. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we win. I'm going, final prediction, 2-0 Roma. Confidence. It's always good to have it. So yeah, I'll catch you soon. Simon